Beloved child of God, you are here because you need God to move quickly in your life. You have been fighting silent battles, facing delays, and waiting for breakthrough, but heaven has not forgotten you. Psalm 70 is your emergency prayer for divine speed, help, and miracles. As we pray, connect in faith, because the God of sudden deliverance is about to answer you now. Let us pray. O Lord my God, arise now in your mighty power, and let your divine speed break through every delay that has surrounded my life. Let every force of stagnation be shattered, and let every door that has been closed for too long suddenly open as you rush to my rescue and lift me into my appointed season of victory. I declare by the authority of Psalm 70 that the help of the Lord locates me without delay, crosses every distance, breaks every barrier, and reaches me exactly where I am, pulling me out of waiting, frustration, confusion, and limitation into divine answers and supernatural breakthroughs. Let heaven respond urgently to my cry. Let divine intervention be released immediately. And let every matter I have brought before the Lord receive fast-track solutions that silence shame, defeat discouragement, and produce visible testimony. I decree that no power assigned to slow my destiny shall prevail. Every spirit of delay is overthrown. Every cycle of postponement is broken, and my life is accelerated into divine timing, divine favor, and divine fulfillment. O God, make haste to help me. Invade every area of my life with your power, and let your hand move swiftly to remove every obstacle blocking my blessings, my healing, my provision, and my open doors. I declare that what was meant to take years shall happen suddenly. What was delayed shall manifest quickly, and what was held back shall be released now as divine speed carries me forward into my miracle season. Let every burden of waiting be lifted. Let every weary moment be replaced with joy, and let the Lord answer me with overwhelming speed that turns my tears into celebration and my prayers into undeniable results. By the power of God, I reject delay. I refuse stagnation. I command immediate divine movement over my situation, causing everything that concerns me to shift in my favor right now. I declare that help from Zion rises on my behalf. Angels are dispatched with urgency, and every battle surrounding my life is handled by the Lord with speed, precision, and total victory. I seal this moment with divine acceleration, declaring that my breakthroughs are released, my answers are arriving, and the God of Psalm 70 is moving quickly to establish my deliverance, my restoration, and my glorious testimony. I declare in the name of the Lord that every enemy seeking my harm, my downfall, and my disgrace shall be overtaken by shame. Their secret plan shall be exposed, and their confidence shall melt away as the power of God rises to defend me. Let all those who desire my failure be thrown into confusion. Let their tongues be tangled, their paths scattered, and their schemes collapse under the weight of divine judgment. As the Lord fights for my victory, I proclaim that every wicked eye watching me for evil shall be blinded. Every monitoring spirit assigned against my destiny shall be silenced, and every hidden hand working against my progress shall be broken by the authority of God, by the power of Psalm 70. I decree that those who mock my faith, my prayers, and my journey shall suddenly be humiliated as God turns their laughter into sorrow and their pride into disgrace. Let every evil mouth that speaks against my life be shut by divine force. Let every accusation be overturned, and let the truth of God rise to justify me before those who tried to shame me. I release the fire of God into every camp of the wicked, scattering their unity, destroying their agreements, and causing their plots to fall apart before they can reach me. I declare that my enemies shall retreat in confusion, running from the very traps they set, as the Lord rises like a warrior to pursue them and establish my deliverance. Let every evil gathering formed against me be dissolved by divine intervention, and let the hand of God separate and scatter those who conspired to see me fall. I proclaim that the shame meant for me shall return to my adversaries, and the dishonor they planned shall be worn by them as the Lord vindicates my name and restores my dignity. I seal this part by declaring that the God of Psalm 70 has clothed me with honor and victory, while every enemy that rose against me is defeated, disgraced, and permanently silenced by divine power. I declare by the authority of the living God that every evil plan formed against my life, my destiny, my family, and my future is now reversed, overturned, and destroyed as the power of heaven rises to protect me and restore what belongs to me. Let every trap set for me become the downfall of those who set it. Let every snare be turned against its owner, and let every wicked intention be swallowed up by divine justice. By the fire of God, I decree that all spiritual arrows, curses, spoken words, and hidden attacks sent toward me are neutralized, redirected, and rendered powerless before they can touch my life. I proclaim that what the enemy meant for my harm shall be turned into my testimony. What was designed to break me shall build me, and what was sent to destroy me shall lift me higher. Let every altar raised against my destiny catch fire. Let every ritual spoken over my name lose its power, and let every evil covenant be canceled by the blood and authority of God. I declare that confusion enters the camp of my enemies, causing them to fight one another, miss their targets, and lose their focus. As the Lord defends me with unstoppable power, every plot, conspiracy, and wicked agreement made in secret against me is now exposed, broken, and brought to nothing by divine intervention. I release the judgment of God against every hidden hand working against my progress, commanding their efforts to collapse and their influence to be removed from my life. I decree that my destiny is preserved. My path is protected, and no evil agenda shall succeed against me, as long as the Lord is my defender. I seal this part by declaring that the God of Psalm 70 has turned every evil plan into victory for me, and I walk forward covered, protected, and empowered by divine reversal. I declare that the power of the Most High rises on my behalf right now, shaking every foundation of darkness around my life, overthrowing every resistance against my destiny, and establishing me in divine authority, victory, and unstoppable breakthrough. Let the hand of God stretch forth into every situation concerning me, moving mountains, opening sealed doors, and releasing supernatural intervention that no enemy, no delay, and no limitation can stop. By the power of Psalm 70, I decree that heaven is activated on my behalf. Angels are moving in my favor, and divine forces are rearranging everything that was working against my progress. I proclaim that every battle surrounding my life is taken over by the Lord of hosts, who fights for me, defends me, and crushes every opposition standing in the way of my miracle. Let the fire of God fall upon every stubborn problem in my life, consuming every chain, breaking every yoke, and dissolving every spiritual and physical barrier blocking my elevation. I declare that the mighty power of God lifts me out of every pit, every struggle, and every limitation, setting me in a place of honor, favor, and divine advantage. Let every voice of darkness speaking against my future be silenced by the thunder of God's authority, and let every lying word be replaced by divine truth and victory. I decree that nothing can stand against the power of the Lord in my life. Every resistance collapses, every opposition surrenders, and every battle is won by divine force. By the hand of the Almighty, I am strengthened, protected, and empowered to walk boldly into my destiny, knowing that the Lord himself goes before me to secure my success. I seal this part by declaring that the power of God has risen over my life, destroyed every enemy, and established me permanently in victory, breakthrough, and supernatural triumph. I declare that the joy of the Lord floods my heart right now, washing away every sorrow, every heaviness, and every burden, as the God of Psalm 70 turns my battles into testimonies and my pain into overwhelming celebration. Let every tear I have cried be transformed into joy. Let every season of mourning and let divine gladness rise within me as the Lord brings me out of every affliction into victory. I proclaim that my deliverance produces laughter, my breakthrough releases dancing, and my restoration fills my soul with unstoppable praise, because the Lord has fought for me and has won. By the power of God, I declare that sadness and despair have no place in my life, for divine joy now takes over my spirit, my mind, and my entire being. I receive the joy that comes from answered prayers, fulfilled promises, and divine intervention. As the hand of the Lord lifts me from sorrow into rejoicing, let the sound of victory echo in my life. Let celebration replace every sigh, and let the gladness of God overflow in my heart, in my home, and in my destiny. I declare that my joy is restored, my strength is renewed, and my spirit is lifted, as the Lord removes every weight and fills me with divine happiness. By the authority of Psalm 70, I step into a season of joy that no enemy can steal, no circumstance can shake, and no darkness can suppress. I proclaim that my deliverance is complete, my heart is full, and my life reflects the goodness and mercy of the Lord. I seal this part by declaring that the joy of the Lord is my portion, my testimony, and my strength, and I will rejoice forever in the victory God has given me. I declare by the power of the living God that my miracle is released now, breaking through every limitation, every barrier, and every resistance, and manifesting openly in my life with undeniable force and divine evidence. Let every area of my life that was once closed receive supernatural opening. Let every impossible situation turn around. Let the hand of God bring forth visible results that testify of his power. I proclaim that what I have waited for in faith is now appearing. What I have prayed for is now materializing, and what I believe for is now taking shape before my eyes. By divine authority, I command sudden change, instant breakthrough, and supernatural turnaround to locate me and transform my situation in ways only God can do. I declare that the power of God moves through my body, my mind, my finances, my relationships, and my destiny, releasing healing, provision, and restoration everywhere. Let every closed door be opened by divine power. Let every locked blessing be released, and let every withheld promise now come into full manifestation. I decree that chains fall, barriers collapse, and limits are broken, as God releases his miracle-working power over every part of my life. By the authority of Psalm 70, I receive supernatural help, divine favor, and uncommon breakthrough that shifts my story and elevates my destiny. I proclaim that nothing is too hard for the Lord, and therefore every impossible situation in my life now bows to the power of God and becomes possible. I seal this part by declaring that my miracle is established, my breakthrough is confirmed, and the hand of the Lord has permanently changed my life for his glory. I declare by the power of the Most High that everything taken from my life, my destiny, my family, and my future is now restored in full measure, as the God of Psalm 70 releases recompense, healing, and divine recovery into every broken area. Let every season of loss be reversed. Let every wasted year be redeemed, and let the hand of God rebuild every place where the enemy tried to bring destruction, shame, and disappointment. I proclaim that what was stolen from me through delayed deception and spiritual attack now returns, multiplied, strengthened, and purified by the power of divine restoration. By the authority of heaven, I decree that my dignity is restored, my joy is restored, my peace is restored, and my destiny is restored, as the Lord wipes away every mark of damage from my life. Let divine repair take place in my spirit, my emotions, my relationships, and my future, causing everything that was broken to become whole again through the power of God. I declare that the God of Psalm 70 gathers every scattered piece of my life and fits them together in beauty, strength, and divine order, making my future greater than my past. Let every opportunity I missed be replaced by greater doors. Let every setback be turned into advancement, and let restoration lift me higher than where I fell. I proclaim that the shame of yesterday is erased, the damage of yesterday is healed, and the losses of yesterday are swallowed up by today's divine restoration. By the mighty hand of God, I am restored beyond what I lost, blessed beyond what was taken, and elevated beyond what was destroyed. I seal this part by declaring that restoration is my portion, recovery is my testimony, and the God of Psalm 70 has rebuilt my life in glory, power, and abundance. I declare that the Lord surrounds me with his divine presence like a shield of fire guarding my life, my family, my destiny, and everything that concerns me from every hidden and open attack of the enemy. Let every arrow of darkness fired against me be intercepted by the power of God. Let every evil plan be neutralized, and let no weapon formed against me prosper in any way. I proclaim that I am covered by the blood and authority of God, and therefore no curse, no spell, no witchcraft, and no demonic assignment can penetrate my life. By the power of Psalm 70, I decree that my home is protected, my children are protected, my work is protected, and my destiny is secured by the hand of the Almighty. Let every invisible enemy lurking around my path be exposed and driven away, as the Lord places his angels around me to keep me safe in all my ways. I declare that the peace of God guards my heart and my mind, keeping me safe from fear, anxiety, and every spiritual and emotional attack. Let divine security surround me day and night, shielding me from danger, accidents, evil intentions, and every form of harm. I proclaim that no power of darkness shall cross the boundaries God has set around my life, because I am divinely defended and spiritually fortified. By the authority of heaven, I walk boldly without fear, knowing that the Lord himself goes before me and stands behind me as my protector. I seal this part by declaring that I am safe, covered, and defended by the God of Psalm 70, and no evil shall come near me or my dwelling. I declare that every spirit of fear, intimidation, and oppression is broken off my life right now, as the power of God rises within me and replaces every trembling with boldness, strength, and divine confidence. Let every voice of terror, doubt, and discouragement be silenced, and let the peace of God take over my heart and mind, driving out every shadow of anxiety and distress. I proclaim that I am no longer controlled by fear of the future, fear of failure, or fear of people, because the Lord of Psalm 70 has established me in courage and victory. By divine authority, I command every emotional, spiritual, and mental burden to lift, allowing the joy, clarity, and power of God to flow freely through my life. I declare that no darkness shall rule over my thoughts, no worry shall dominate my spirit, and no fear shall dictate my decisions, for the Lord himself is my strength. Let every heaviness be replaced with divine peace. Let every cloud of confusion be lifted, and let the light of God shine clearly over my path. I proclaim that I walk in confidence, speak with authority, and move with assurance, because God goes before me and surrounds me with his presence. By the power of Psalm 70, I am free from anxiety, free from panic, and free from every emotional chain that once tried to hold me back. I declare that my heart is steady, my mind is clear, and my spirit is strong. Anchored in the unfailing promises and protection of the Lord, I seal this part by declaring that fear has no power over me. Peace reigns in my life, and the God of Psalm 70 has established me in total victory and calm assurance. I declare that the blessings of the Lord overtake my life, surround my steps, and overflow in every area of my destiny, causing doors of opportunity, provision, and divine increase to open before me without resistance. Let the favor of God rest upon me like a crown, drawing helpers, opportunities, and divine connections into my life, and causing everything I touch to be guided by heaven and prosper with ease. I proclaim that lack and scarcity have no place in my life, for the God of Psalm 70 releases abundant supply and supernatural provision that meets every need and exceeds every expectation. By divine authority, I decree that my work, my efforts, and my plans are blessed, multiplied, and protected, producing visible success and lasting results. I declare that blessings locate me in unexpected places, favor opens doors that were once closed, and divine grace elevates me beyond every limitation that tried to hold me back. Let the goodness of the Lord overflow in my life, filling my home, my finances, my relationships, and my future with peace, joy, and prosperity. I proclaim that every seed I have sown now brings forth a great harvest, and every sacrifice is rewarded with divine increase and supernatural return. By the power of Psalm 70, I receive blessings that cannot be stolen, favor that cannot be reversed, and provision that will never run dry. I declare that the Lord is my provider, my source, and my sustainer, and therefore I walk in security, stability, and divine supply. I seal this part by declaring that my life is marked by blessing. My destiny is wrapped in favor, and the God of Psalm 70 has established me in abundant success and continual overflow. I declare that the God of Psalm 70 sends divine helpers into my life from the north, south, east, and west, aligning the right people at the right time to lift me, support me, and connect me to my destiny. Let every helper assigned by heaven locate me without delay. Let every divine connection be activated, and let every person meant to bless, promote, and assist me step into my life now. I proclaim that no destiny helper assigned to me shall be delayed, diverted, or blocked, but they shall reach me with clarity, obedience, and divine urgency. By the authority of heaven, I decree that the Lord goes before me, arranging my path, opening doors of favor, and positioning me before those who will contribute to my success and elevation. I declare that I am not alone in my journey, for the God of Psalm 70 surrounds me with people who carry wisdom, resources, encouragement, and opportunities that advance my destiny. Let every wrong connection be removed and every right connection be released, so that my life is filled only with relationships that bring peace, growth, and divine progress. I proclaim that every divine appointment meant for my blessing will not miss me, and every opportunity assigned to my destiny will locate me at the right moment. By divine authority, I receive support where I once struggled alone, help where I once carried burdens, and favor where I once faced resistance. I declare that my steps are guided by heaven, my relationships are ordered by God, and my future is strengthened by divine partnerships. I seal this part by declaring that the God of Psalm 70 has surrounded me with destiny helpers, faithful supporters, and divine connections that will carry me into my season of victory and fulfillment. I declare that the peace of God floods my heart, my mind, and my spirit right now, washing away every storm, every worry, and every inner conflict, and replacing them with calm stability and divine assurance. Let every anxious thought be silenced. Let every restless feeling be removed, and let the perfect peace of the Lord settle deeply within me as He takes full control of my life. I proclaim that my mind is guarded by divine peace. My heart is anchored in God, and my soul rests in the security of His unfailing love and protection. By the power of Psalm 70, I decree that emotional turmoil gives way to tranquility, confusion gives way to clarity, and fear gives way to confidence in the presence of God. I declare that the peace of the Lord rules over every decision I make, guiding me in wisdom, directing my steps, and keeping me from harm and regret. Let every burden I carry be lifted by divine peace, and let every heavy thought be replaced with hope, faith, and quiet confidence. I proclaim that I am safe in the hands of God, protected by His presence, and surrounded by His peace, no matter what circumstances try to rise around me. By divine authority, I rest in the goodness of the Lord, knowing that He is working all things together for my good and for my victory. I declare that my heart is steady, my spirit is calm, and my mind is at rest, because the God of Psalm 70 is my refuge and my strong tower. I seal this part by declaring that divine peace is my portion, inner rest is my testimony, and the Lord has established my life in quiet strength and unshakable assurance. I declare that my mouth is filled with praise and my heart overflows with thanksgiving, as I magnify the God of Psalm 70, who has delivered me, defended me, and brought me into victory. Let every breath I take become a song of praise, every step I walk become an act of worship, and every moment of my life reflect the glory of the Lord who fights my battles. I proclaim that I lift the name of the Lord above every challenge, above every enemy, and above every limitation, because His power and goodness reign supreme over my life. By divine authority, I decree that my praise rises like incense before the throne of God, drawing down His presence, His favor, and His mighty acts into my situation. I declare that my worship is not silenced by past struggles, but is strengthened by victory testimony and the faithfulness of the Lord who has brought me this far. Let the sound of my praise break every remaining chain, shatter every shadow of darkness, and release divine light and joy into every part of my life. I proclaim that I rejoice in the Lord at all times, celebrating His mercy, His power, and His unchanging love that surrounds me every day. By the power of Psalm 70, I magnify the Lord with my voice, my heart, and my life, declaring His greatness for all to see and hear. I declare that thanksgiving flows from me like a river, washing away every trace of bitterness, fear, and discouragement, and filling me with divine joy and peace. I seal this part by declaring that my life is a testimony of praise. My spirit is anchored in worship, and the God of Psalm 70 is exalted through everything I do. I declare that my victory is complete and permanent, established by the power of God, and no force of darkness shall ever rise again to challenge what the Lord has secured for me. Let every enemy that pursued me fall behind me, every voice that opposed me be silenced, and every battle that tried to stop me end in total defeat. I proclaim that the God of Psalm 70 has finished His work in my life, bringing every promise to fulfillment and every prayer to visible manifestation. By divine authority, I decree that my future is sealed in victory. My destiny is rooted in success, and my path is covered by divine favor and protection. I declare that no setback, no delay, and no opposition can reverse what God has done, for my breakthrough is established by heaven and confirmed on earth. Let divine triumph shine over my life. Let the evidence of victory be seen in my home, my work, and my testimony, and let the glory of God rest upon everything I touch. I proclaim that I stand in triumph, clothed in honor, peace, and divine confidence, because the Lord Himself has fought for me and brought me through by the power of Psalm 70. I walk boldly into my future, knowing that every door before me is open and every blessing has been prepared. I declare that my life is now aligned with divine purpose, divine timing, and divine fulfillment, and nothing shall derail what God has ordained. I seal this part by declaring that the victory God has given me is eternal, unstoppable, and filled with joy, peace, and divine celebration. I declare that every miracle released in my life is now sealed by the hand of God, protected from reversal, and established permanently in my destiny by divine authority. Let every promise spoken over my life stand firm. Let every answered prayer remain unshaken, and let every blessing I have received continue to grow, multiply, and flourish. I proclaim that the God of Psalm 70 has completed his work in me, bringing every battle to an end and every season into divine alignment with his perfect will. By divine decree, I step into a future filled with light, favor, and opportunity, where every path before me is guided by heaven and guarded by the power of God. I declare that my testimony will continue to speak, my victories will continue to expand, and my life will forever reflect the glory and faithfulness of the Lord. Let everything connected to my destiny be preserved, strengthened, and protected, so that nothing can steal, corrupt, or destroy what God has built in my life. I proclaim that the hand of the Lord rests upon me, for good surrounding me with mercy, wisdom, and divine covering as I move forward into new levels of blessing. By the authority of Psalm 70, I walk in continual victory, daily breakthroughs, and unending divine favor that keeps me rising and advancing. I declare that abundance, peace, and divine joy remain my portion, flowing through my life and into every area that concerns me. I seal this entire prayer by declaring that the God of Psalm 70 has perfected everything that concerns me, and my life now stands as a living testimony of his miracle working power. Father God, thank you for the miracles, breakthroughs, and divine deliverance released through this Psalm 70 prayer. Let every listener walk in victory, peace, and favor. Stay connected with the Divine Cleansing Secret Channel for more powerful miracle prayers and spiritual warfare declarations. Amen.